did you know like from an early age, you wanted to be a performer? You wanted to be a singer, was that always just like the calling, whether you knew it was or not?
It was, but at the same time, every little girl wants to be a singer. You know what I mean? You read those little things that they write in third grade about, what they want to be when they grow up. Half of them say, I want to be an actress. I want to be a singer. So it's like, I thought I was I'm just another one of those little girls who wants to be a singer. And, you reach for the stars when you're in third grade, and then you get older and you're like, okay, this isn't practical. This is not a practical job.
The Perspective Podcast is fuel for your mind and creative grind. Each week, we break down the art of healthy hustling, overcoming the inner critic, and growing your creative business. PC family, today we have Maddie freaking Poppy on the show. Welcome to the Perspective Podcast. It's great to have you here and officially celebrating another fellow creative Iowan. You're like number 2, I guess, out of these 4.5 years of doing this. So how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So for those who somehow don't know about you, can you just give us a Wikipedia page summary about yourself?
Oh, Wikipedia. I am from Clarksville, Iowa, and I'm 22. And I was on the show American Idol, and I ended up winning the show. And I still live in Iowa. There's my Wikipedia page.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You practiced your elevator pitch today. Thank you. We linked up, just so random how all of this happened, but we finally got to link up, talk about some merch design. We were scheming and dreaming at Cup of Joe, and I was getting to know more about like your background and your journey of how you got to where you are today. Yeah. American Idol. But like, I was interested about the stuff leading up to American Idol. And in our talks, there was a ton of golden nuggets tucked away in there. And I want to like intentionally tackle some of those and share that story again today. So before American Idol and just like life took off 1,000,000 miles per hour, what was life like? And what were the moves you were making? What you won in 2018?
Yep.
Okay. So what was like life like 18, 19, and then 20 before things really took off?
Oh man. Well, before Idol, I was like, I don't know. I felt like, I was so young. I'm still so young, but I felt like I tried everything. I'd auditioned for anything I possibly could. I auditioned for The Voice like 3 times, finally got on the show, didn't get a chair to turn. I was shown on national TV. It was super embarrassing. And I thought, oh, well, there goes my shot at getting on a TV show. Like, so that's not going to happen. And I'm just so close with my family. I couldn't just up and move to Nashville, because that's not how you make it anymore. It's like you go to Nashville and just move there and try to make it. It's like people are going to laugh in your face, It's like, and you got to have some startup cash to do that kind of thing. So I was literally living at my parents' house and just going to my sister's softball games. Just like I don't know. I did music. Like I would do gigs. That's all I did for a job. And I was going to school for digital mass media at Hawkeye.
You were a graphic designer. When you were telling me that, I was like, what? I would have never guessed that.
Yeah. I actually got my like certificate, my 1 year. I finished the 1-year program at Iowa Central for it's called graphics communications. But then I went on to Hawkeye, and I was going to Hawkeye, and I was like, man, I want to be doing music, but this is fine too. It's like, it's not my first passion, but I still, enjoy it. But I was just like, I think it was like an off day. I wasn't in school that day, and I was just laying in my bed. And I remember seriously, I was at the point where I was just like, whatever. Like I didn't know what my life was going to pan out to be.
Like feeling defeated in a sense.
Yeah. I kind of felt just like, what do I even do? And like, I was kind of at the point where I was like, who even cares? Which I don't know. So then I remember laying there, and I got a text from my dad, and he said, hey, American Idol's coming back. You should audition. And I literally remember thinking like, oh, that's super cool. Why not? Like, what have I got to lose at this point? I was to the point where I was like, I'm not going to invest any faith in this because it's not going to work out. And I need to just accept that. Like, I'm going to try for this again, but come on, you're not going to win American Idol. You're not even going to get to live shows.
Damn, you went into it with predetermined outcomes of failing.
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%. And I went in, I went into my first audition in Omaha and stood in line with hundreds of people and was like, okay, I need to accept, like, I'm not going to get through. And then I ended up getting through. And I remember leaving that day thinking like, okay, this is awesome. Let me call my grandparents and tell them, because this is very exciting. But I still have 2 more rounds to go before I even get to see the judges. After that, I went to Chicago for 2 more rounds, got through the first round. And then I got through the second round and they said, you're going to be seeing the judges. And I remember then like going home, being excited about it, but I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want anyone to get their hopes up. I remember going on a bike ride with my mom and saying like, I would downplay it so much. I'd be like, now I get to see the judges, but it's probably not going to work out. But if it did, wouldn't that be cool? But it's probably not gonna. I just remember like saying that to my mom, and and then after that, I got through and I got some really good feedback from the judges, and and I noticed that they were taking my family aside and filming us, kind of making a story of our family and me, maybe a little bit more than the other contestants. And I thought, wait a minute, like, am I actually like, do I have a shot here? Exactly. And then, every step of the way, I'd just be prepared I just wanted to make the best of it and have so much fun while I could, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. And that happened literally until I got to the top 5 in the competition. I never thought I could win this. And then I got to top 5 and I was like, okay, now I have literally a 1 in 5 shot of winning this. And I don't want to get my hopes up, but like, holy crap. Like that was the first time I had faith in myself.
Okay. So that was like the first time, because that was one of the when did you like catch a little glimpse like, damn, I was meant to do this. This is mine. Turn on savage mode. And it's time to compete and turn it up another level, So when you hit that top 5, that was it?
That was probably it. Yeah. Because I remember being at home and there were 14 of us going into the live shows. And I remember thinking I remember just going through everyone like, oh, this person is going to do this and like going to outshine me this way. And this guy is like super cute and he's going to like get that vote from the women. And I just remember going through everyone and being like, I'll probably be out this first round, but I'm so happy to have made it this far. And
what was your superpower then? What was just like, hey, this is like my lane. I'm sticking in my lane and I'm going to own this. And this is where I'm going to shine. Did someone help you see that? Or did you just like have that gut feeling like, this is what I need to do? Or did you have that outside source kind of guidance?
When I would get the feedback from the judges and they would say stuff like, you're such a true artist, or you're so authentic to yourself, or your song choices are great, stick to your gut, you're doing something not everyone is doing. That was kind of the reassurance that I was like, okay, so I have like the pop star of all pop stars, Katy Perry, telling me this. I need to listen to that and take that advice, I guess.
You said stick to your gut. So backtracking, you went on The Voice audition 3 times.
I auditioned, I wasn't on TV 3 times, but like I had gotten to like the final round twice. And then I auditioned 1 year, made it to the final round right before you could get to, go to LA. And then the next year I didn't even get that far. And then the 3rd year I was like, okay, let me try again. And then I finally got to go to LA and audition for the judges and stuff like that.
What kept you going? Most people, it's like, I shot my shot. I gave it all I got that one time. Why was it different for you? Like sticking to your guns, go with your gut. Like I'm big intuition, instinct, gut kind of person on the show versus logic and keeping your logic would have told you, well, dang, I sucked, but I need to just go home to Clarksville and go detassel.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't even know what decathlon. I'd say like 80% of people listen don't know what the hell decathlon is.
100%.
Yeah.
People have no idea. Man,
why'd you stick
I don't
with
know.
it?
I kind of thought like, okay, TV is like the way to fast track this and like the way to get a big audience. And that is I mean, I've auditioned for other things and I auditioned for like musicals and stuff. Like I'd send in auditions for like, like this movie musical kind of thing. Like I was doing anything and doing live, trying to audition live. And I remember sitting in class at Iowa Central and writing this email up and sending it to literally probably like 50 venues across Iowa. And it was like, hi, my name is Maddie Poppy and blah, blah, blah. And this is my story. And I mean, I remember sending that to all these venues. And I think one person got back to me. And I went down and we spent like $600 getting this booth at like the Iowa State Fair vendor show or something like that. And like one person hired me. And it was discouraging, but at the same time, it was like, I got one, like I got one person, let's take this and run with it. But I didn't even answer your question. To answer your question, I think what kept me going is I just thought like, I want to live in Iowa. So my only way to do this, I don't want to just up and leave. That's not how you make it, And so I just kept trying, I guess.
Did you know, like, from an early age, you wanted to be a performer? You wanted to be a singer, Was that always just like the calling, whether you knew it was or not?
It was, but at the same time, every little girl wants to be a singer. You know what I mean? You read those little things that they write in third grade about, what they want to be when they grow up. Half of them say, I want to be an actress. I want to be a singer. So it's like, I thought I was I'm just another one of those little girls who wants to be a singer. And, you reach for the stars when you're in third grade and then you get older and you're like, okay, this isn't practical. This is not a practical job. There's a 1 in a million chance this is going to happen to me. And yeah, so, I mean, it was always like, oh, that would be cool, but that's not going to happen. Let me come up with 100 backup plans, And also my mom was the guidance counselor at my school. So it didn't look super good for her to be like encouraging this very impractical, like career when everyone else she's recommending like, oh, you should go to this college or, whatever. And so, I mean, she always supported me, but I think that we all kind of knew like, okay, let's be real here.
So, I mean, if you all kind of knew and practical, how do you keep most people, if they don't give themselves a shot, they just don't keep doing it. Like you had to have some kind of like things along the way, talent shows or producing content. Were you like on Instagram or something, just like kicking out stuff just to like gain some traction? Oh, and one more important thing, I want to pluck a little note. You got one yes out of all that. And a big thing, like in the world I live with the creatives, yes, getting the yes lives in the land of no's. So the more no's you get, you're like one step closer to getting that yes. And you're like one 100%. Scroll, swipe, click away from like having a fortuitous relationship or some type of opportunity come your way. But if you just like give in, you're done.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think I set these goals for myself inside, like very, very deep inside my
protected
mind.
Goals.
Very protected goals that I don't tell anyone about because I'm so afraid that I'm not going to live up to it. And then people can say like, oh, I told you so. But like, I keep these like huge goals like in my mind and I try not to get excited about them. But I know that sounds so weird, but like, I know,
totally normal.
I know they're there, but I don't want to get too, I don't want to really know that I don't really want to get excited about them. I don't want to tell other people about them, but, it makes it that much sweeter. Like when they come true, you're like, oh my gosh, like I have like manifested this in my mind for so long and no one knows about this, but
it's like subconsciously you got it planted in there and you're visualizing it without consciously doing it. And
half of me is like planning it, you know, half of me is planning a strategy, whether it's just like, I don't know, half of me is like making it happen without really knowing. I don't know if that even makes sense.
But I think it does, but you're still like, you have a target, whether it's public or not, and you're taking action by, it's like law of attraction. People are just like, so if I just think of something, it's just going to manifest. I'm like, no, dumb. You got to like still put in the work and be intentional. So maybe if you weren't like broadcasting it, you're still intentionally showing up, working on your craft, right? Like it's play to you. Playing is play. Yeah. Does it ever feel like a job these days?
No, I actually was thinking about that today. I have an interview with a newspaper later today, and between you and me, no, I don't even know who it's with, but they set it up for me. It's somebody, it might be Des Moines Register or something, but between you and me and everyone else listening right now, I remember I like was in my car and I got out of my car and I was like, I don't want to do that newspaper interview. But then I thought, oh my gosh, why am I complaining about, like, think about like, because there's other stuff like, oh, I don't want to like, I don't know, make this, I don't want to design this tour poster, you know? But then I'm like, what am I complaining about? I could have a boss bringing me a load of paperwork and saying like, this needs to be done today and you get nothing out of this. And this is just part of your job. And you know what I mean? And I'm like, I catch myself like in that position a lot where I
putting yourself in check. Like, got so much to be grateful. Why am I whining? Right? I worked the corporate grind for 5.5 years before I got to do my thing full time. I get it. It's like, I could go back to that life, but this is where it's at right now. This is play. Get to talk to people like you, all and cool stuff. Make t-shirts. We'll talk about that in a second. So when you got to that point, what would you tell your past self now? The person who doubted yourself round after round after round, because I guarantee you wouldn't go and tell someone else that, you know, advice, be like, hey, go after your goals, but always embrace and tell yourself that you're probably not going to make it happen. It's like, you see how funny and twist that is if you spin it that way. So what would you tell your past self with this new enlightened, successful version of you?
I don't know, because I feel like I'm not really that much different than I was before. I feel like I still doubt myself all the time. And
it's never going to go away. But at least like, I think you get to a point where you're self-aware enough of it. But now instead of like letting that inner critic dominate the discussion and day in and day out, like you start like empowering your little voice of reason on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what would I tell my past self? That's a good question. I truly don't even know how I would answer that question. I don't know what I would say, because everything happened how it happened because of, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like everything was important up until this point, like even my mindset and everything, because I think if I would have, there's people who go in there so cocky and they get cut the first round. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think everything happened the way it was supposed to for a reason. And so I almost don't, I maybe wouldn't say anything to my past self. I just say, figure it out, dude. Everybody's got their own path there. You got to figure it out.
Figure it out and stick with it. That seems to be like the motto, the Maddie's motto. What was I going to say? So 2020 has been quite the year, a weird year. I know for me, doing my thing full time and then getting hit with the pandemic radically was a massive challenge, an uphill challenge all year long. How has being like a performing artist and a singer, what are some of like the curveballs you've dealt with in dealing with the Rona and COVID and everything just hitting you this year?
Well, you know, last year was like a super awesome year for me because there were a lot of like boxes that were checked. Like my songs were charting. I got up to number 19 on the charts. I was doing a radio tour. I had made great relationships with all these like program directors all over the nation. And then I had gone on tour with Ingrid Michaelson last fall, and everything was looking great. And then this January, I actually got a song from a super huge pop star. She had sang the demo on it, and then they were going to let me have it as my song. And the radio team and everybody was so excited about it. I had an EP all ready to release, and we were just going to build off what we had done last year, and we were so excited about it. There had been talk about like getting me on tour this summer or this fall with they had talked like Sheryl Crow, and they had like big names like that. And I think Andy Grammer too was another name. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I just did. So
is what it is. You do what you want.
Yeah. But anyways, then we had everything ready to go. And then April hit and May hit. I think it was May 1st. And I got a call and everything fell through. And it was like, it's done. It's done and you're on your own. And then ever since then, it's like, I don't know.
Solo artist now since May, just like figuring out the next steps after riding this massive wave of 2018, 2019, 2020 is looking like it's going to be just, building off that even more highs. And then just like the floor got pulled from you.
Exactly. And
what was your mindset like? How'd you feel?
You know what? I think that in a lot of other situations, if this would have happened to an artist, they would have maybe probably had a meltdown and been like, I don't know what I'm going to do. It would have been a terrible year. But my situation was different because the people that I was with and the group I was with never had my best interest. I never felt like they cared. I never felt like I was heard. I never felt like I could be myself. I felt like it was like, okay, we need you to get the spins and we need you to make the money. And you're here because you were handed to us. And we don't really want you, but we are contractually obligated to do these things with you. So that's the deal. And that's how I always felt. And so being free was kind of like, it was like a shock more than anything. It was just a shock. I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad. I was just shocked because I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So all these plans that I had are now not going to happen. And it's good because, I always joke about it with my sister. She's got pretty bad anxiety where I'm kind of on the opposite side where I can get depressed really easily. But we're both on like the same medication, but for different things. And I say like, she could never be in this, do what I do because of the anxiety. And I never have a plan. Even when you think you have a plan, you don't, and nothing is guaranteed, and you're never guaranteed a salary. Some months you'll make $0 and other months will be so awesome.
That's the life that's so glorified, but people don't know
so
the nitty gritty. I'm like, dude, I didn't make a damn dime in August, instead of that safe paycheck.
Yeah.
Different world. And I'm a high anxiety person too. So I understand where your sister's coming from.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So, I mean, I think if it was a super good everything, I totally believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And something better is out there, even if that means okay, you're never going to play a stadium in your life, but your career is going to make you so happy. And, you're going to get to live an awesome life and do exactly what you want. I think it gives me a lot to look forward to, but it's also scary because I had a totally different plan for this year. And then becoming independent, it's like, okay, think about this. 3 of those songs that I was going to have on my EP were $80,000 each. which is like
bank in your pocket, or someone else still gets a cut?
No. I get like a trickle down. Like I get maybe
royalty cut?
30%.
Like a royalty cut?
Okay, like yeah, if I write on it. But like if I don't, it's like, okay, so my label would get a cut, and then American Idol got a cut, and then I would get a cut. And it was like, I mean, I didn't even know, like, because I didn't really get into it because people were taking care of that for me. So I don't actually even know how much I made off that stuff, which is irresponsible, but I don't care.
Hard lessons learned.
Yeah. But anyways, so what I'm saying is like, yes, they would pay $80,000 for this song. And of course they would get the money back from it. But like now that I'm on my own, I don't have any funds. Like I'm on my own. I'm never going to pay $80,000 for a song. No song is worth $80,000. And the reason that labels pay that is because they have $1 million to throw at this project. They can do, exactly. And they can do that. But it's like, no, I'm not a label. I'm a human with a mortgage and, a cell phone bill and a car payment and all that stuff, and now I got to be a label too. And so, anyways, then I this year came around and I was like, okay, I read comments and like kind of are hard to read because it's like, what is Maddie doing? She's literally done nothing and had no success all year. And she hasn't done anything since American Idol. And I'm like, dude, if I could just sit down and make a video about everything that's happened this year, you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea how much it is to fund a project. Like, you don't have any idea. And, I'm trying to tackle it, but it's pretty much impossible right now.
Well, and also the biggest critics are the ones who don't have the guts, the desire, the talent, the energy to ever put it out there, put themselves on the line. So haters means having anger towards everyone reaching success.
Ooh, having anger. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've dealt with enough haters, maybe not on the scale of you, but I've had some really nasty things said to me, and they don't understand what goes into this. I don't know what goes into yours, but I respect the craft because I know what you do is not easy, especially doing it on your own without the guidance of a label or people thinking they know what's best for you without having your best interests. So It's not easy.
Yeah. And I mean, I have learned so many lessons through all this. Like, just learn, like, you literally shouldn't trust anyone until, like, you shouldn't, like, you can't, like, even the people who like are with me all the time, like, I can't give my trust to anyone because I did that right off the show. And I've just found so many snakes that I'm like,
you're swimming with a bunch of sharks when you get on that level.
It's like, no, I've got to do everything for me. And, and sometimes if you have to be a bitch, you have to be a bitch. Like, and I lived for so long after Idol thinking like, okay, I have to be so sweet and so nice. And I can only give the best impression. I have to be at 100% all the time.
This filtered
and
version
all these people that
of
voted
yourself,
for me,
of what you think people want to see.
I had to live up to this because I was like, I have to make the best impression. And then I started like, getting screwed over. And then I started finding out like, okay, you're not going to be happy this way. You're living to please everybody else. And I was like, no, I don't care if this person thinks that I'm a diva. I don't care because you know what? I'm doing this for me. And, at the end of the day, I'm the person who has to release this song, not you. And your name isn't slapped on any of this. Mine is. So
what moves did you make then after it got? So it sounds like this was, I know me losing my safe corporate job was like the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm a big believer. Adversity doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. And it's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to respond? It's your responsibility to respond. It's what responsibility is. So what moves did you start making then? Even if it was a slow move behind the scene, like, and then we'll get to like what you're doing right now.
What moves did I make this year after that all happened?
Yeah, after that happened. So like, where were you mindset wise? What moves did you start making? Or did you take some time to yourself and let's scale it to like where you are right now at the end of 2020.
I I feel like I took it by the horns and was just like, this happened to me and I can't pout about it. I sat down at my piano that night and I wrote a song, and then I continued to do that. And it was the first time I'd written just by myself. Like I wasn't in a room with other people trying to please other people, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to succeed without you. And I'm going to, you probably think that I'm not going to be able to, but I'm going to make it work. And I can't let this get to me. After that, I literally went and I was like, I was supposed to get an advance and stuff. And I was like excited about that, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Who cares? I went and I bought a house. And then I went and bought a car. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to do it. And I didn't have any music that I like wanted to release. I didn't have any music I wanted to release. And because I don't want to release any original stuff right now because I'm not really in the position to. I know that I couldn't market it the way I want to right now because I don't have a team, like a label team, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still with my management though, and they've been so helpful and nice and great about this whole thing. And, they've helped me a lot with, I kind of like in August, I was like, okay, I need to put something out because I can't let this whole like, oh, now that I'm independent, I need some time. No, I cannot afford, like, I cannot, time is so valuable.
Remind people you exist.
Yes, exactly.
The fans. Yeah.
I cannot afford to just sit down and say, okay, well, use it as an excuse. Well, I'm independent, so I'm not going to put out anything for a while. I was like, nope. Whether I like it or not, it looks like I'm making a Christmas album this year. Which is something I never would have done before. Like when my label told me you're putting out 2 Christmas songs, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to. Like, I thought it was so corny. And to be honest, I went into this Christmas album thinking like, okay, I just need to put something out. And then I started making the album, and I truly was making all the decisions myself and was working one-on-one with the producer and was like, okay, there's no one here telling me like, this needs to be this way. This, you need to do this song. And I got to make all the decisions, and man, I'm so happy with how it turned out. And I'm so pumped about it now.
Empowered.
Because I got to do everything, I got to make all the decisions, and I didn't have to listen to anyone telling me anything. And so instead of it being like an obligation, it's now turned into like, I'm so happy. And like, it didn't get finished until I was 100% happy, and that's never happened before. There's been songs I've released that I said, I hate the vocal on this. And they said, too bad, it's going forward and you're singing it on GMA tomorrow, and it, so anyways, so
you went in as like a Grinch and a Scrooge, and you came up just like Jolly Saint Nick, just got to keep it Christmas theme for people. But
exactly,
it sounds like this was literally the best thing that ever happened to you. So when does the album come out? And I know you're going to have some like tour dates and stuff coming around here soon. I'm pretty sure December 11th is in Cedar Falls. So I think we're going to get a sitter that night and come say what's up.
Nice.
Shots before you go on.
What's that?
We're going to take like fireball shots before you go on and perform. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I have an album. This Christmas album is now coming out November 20th. And then I have a bunch of shows, and some more being announced actually. I think there's like 8 total or something, and they've not all been announced, but they start December 10th and then they go through like, I think the 18th or something, but they're all in Iowa. Thought I'd bring it back here. Last summer I was all over the country and I never really was here doing anything in Iowa. So I was like, you know what? I'm coming back here. And you know what? Also, Iowa's like the only state who's like willing to do live music right now. And so I was like, okay, we're doing it. Everybody put on a mask and we're having a show. It's happening. So
yeah. And you have some merch coming out too. So, and you do your own, this is what really impressed me. I've done plenty of merch in my life, and the fulfillment to the shipping, owning it, sitting on stock, working with vendors. It's a lot of
Yes.
work. And you do all your own merch and you ship and fulfill and do it all on your own with the Maddie Touch. Like that's insanely crazy and awesome.
Well, to be honest, when I was signed right out of Idol, they'd asked me to turn my merch over, for so long. And merch was the only thing that I had a hand in, like anymore. I truly felt like the only way I could be creative anymore. Because I could write songs, but other than that, it was so micromanaged that I felt like, hey, merch is the only thing I have, and I'm not turning it over. I don't care if I have to ship everything out myself. I'm doing it because I don't want to give this over to someone else. And also merch was the only thing that I could see 100% of the sales coming in. Like with my album, I have no clue how many downloads there were.
Visibility to
nothing.
income.
And I probably could, but
you also got to be the creative and focus on bigger picture stuff as well. And that's what a manager or representatives and
and so, I mean, by the time, so now I have 100% control over everything, and I'm still keeping my merch because it's precious to me. And I love the graphic designer in me and the businesswoman in me is no, I'm doing it because if I don't do it, it's going to be done. I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy unless I do it. You know what I mean? And I don't trust anyone to do it.
It's a powerful experience knowing that you signed something or you packaged it and shipped it to someone. That's such a powerful brand experience with someone on the other end, a huge fan. That's how you convert a fan into a super fan with a handwritten note kind of thing and some merch with it and stickers or whatever. So what can people expect from merch? What can people go and buy? When does merch come out and how can people go and get it? So I can put it all in the show notes.
Well, I actually had this guy do the design for it. And I don't know if you know him. No.
It sounds pretty cool.
I had Scotty, I had Scotty do the design for this. So I've been a huge fan of Urban Pie, done a few shows there in Cedar Falls. And their branding was always awesome. I always they gave me a couple shirts, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. A lot of times when people give me shirts from their business or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is cute, but this is gonna be my painting shirt, or this is gonna be my pajama shirt,
your detasseling shirt.
Yeah. And that's not always the case. Don't get me wrong. I've gotten some cool stuff too, but then Urban Pie gave me some merch, and it is just super cool. I'm trying to think if I have it over here. No, because I just wore the black one the other day, and then the red one.
Oh my God, you actually got it in here. That's funny.
The red one I just folded because it just came out of the laundry.
Woo.
But I was I'm obsessed with the design on it, and I'm into wearing only cool logo. I guess I got this shirt from somebody else.
Graphic based stuff
too. Yes. And so anyways, I saw it and I was I know I probably still have the email. I emailed the guy from Urban Pie and was
Derek or Blake, one of the two.
Blake.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to think of his name for a second. And I emailed him, was okay, these shirts are sweet. Who did all this for you? Because I need this person to do stuff for me. I've gotten stuff done before, and I was just kind of oh yeah, it's okay. And then I did my own thing, and I wasn't crazy about it. And I've been looking for that person to make a cool t-shirt design, because to be honest, my merch right now, I just kind of think it's kind of lame. And I'm oh yes, keep if you like it, buy it. But and I would never wear my own merch, but I want my merch to be cool enough that I would wear it. You know what I'm saying? So I was I need to contact this guy. And I literally had known about you for I want to say at least 6 months. I've been following you. I've been stalking you from afar.
Jeez, that's crazy.
No, crazy. But and so I've been looking at the stuff you post and stuff like that, and I wasn't ready. I thought I was going to be ready for a merch rollout when my EP was going to drop in April. But then when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, I have no real reason to be releasing merch right now because I don't have an album coming out. And then when I knew the Christmas album was like going to happen, I was like, okay, now it's a new me. It's a new merch. It's a new brand. I need to contact this dude now. Like this is happening now. So then I hit you up and was like,
we linked up like 2 days later?
Yeah. And I was like, this is a shot in the dark. And I know this is super last minute and I'm very irresponsible, but I love your work and I need something new. And I don't know if you even have time for this. Because I've been hesitant for like a few days. I've been like, do I need new merch? Yes, I need new merch. But it was so late in the game that I was like, there's no one that's going to, because I'd had stuff made before and it took like 3 months. And I was like, I don't know if this is something that someone can turn around this quick. And literally like a week later, you had it all done. And
about 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks, but
it was a very
like,
quick
okay, you caught me in this gap right before I'm like diving deep into, because I don't do client work. Like literally, I stopped doing client work in the late 20s. It just wasn't fun, or like people are trying to hit you up to like do someone else's style. I'm like, no, this is the style I want to do. But if the hell yes opportunity came around, I'm like, you're in Iowa right now. This just makes sense. I have this open gap. Like the universe was making this happen. So,
yes.
But you have anything else going on like holiday related, or I know t-shirts, but what else kind of stuff can people expect?
So we got a new beanie coming out, some new hats coming out, maybe a sweatshirt, but like just a simple merch. I'm not one of those people who's like, here's a phone case and here's a candle and here's the same logo on a freaking pen. You know what I mean? It's like
that corporate
I'm not
stuff.
trying to take all your money. I'm not trying to take all people's money, but I just want some cool stuff. So I'm like doing shirts and hats, and I am being a little extra this time because I am doing an ornament that it's my album cover on an ornament. Which I just thought is like Christmassy, and it's like.
Did you do your album cover?
I work with this guy from Oregon. He's like 17 years old.
Okay, he did some other artwork for you too. Killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
So,
shout out to whatever you want to give him a shout out. Feel free. Killer work.
Yeah. No. Well, I had off the show, like people had made like fan art and stuff. Like they draw you, and I had like this thing with Kermit the Frog, and he drew. We did a duet together. I had this thing. I act like we dated.
Short-lived, hopefully.
But anyways, I saw I'd go through it sometimes, and I saw this picture and I was like, man, that really looks like me. Like a lot of this is like, it's like a kid drawing, whatever. But then it actually looked like me. So I was looking for some creative album artwork, and I knew that this kid had drawn my face well before. So then he did my last album, and then this time I hit him up again. I'm just trying to.
Was just like, whoa, oh my goodness! Oh, here, I'll just draw it right now. Take it all. Take it.
Yeah,
I would have been like that at that age too, before it became a business for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's super cool. I hope that I can take advantage, not to take advantage, but like hope I can still work with him while he's like not Van Gogh. Yeah.
I'll try and like link him up in the show notes too. So yeah, killer artwork. I think it was like Whirlwind or something. Maybe I saw the artwork first for. But,
yeah. Sorry, his name is Dylan Mead. He's Doodles by Dylan.
Doodles by Dylan.
But yeah, he's super sweet, and we actually met last year. We had not met each other when we were just virtually like doing the artwork, and then I finally met him last fall. So yeah, so that's going to be on the ornament, and then I might do like, I don't know if it's too extra, but I kind of want to do like a tumbler or a mug, but it needs to be a metal thing because if it's ceramic, it's going to be very hard to ship. So it needs to be something that can be like
someday. Oh my God. Let me plant a seed real quick for you. Stone ceramic ware mugs, huge collector thing. Like this is my podcast artwork on it. I have tons of mugs here, but the collectors behind this, it's a bit of an investment, but the upsell, the profit margins, and just the collectability of these, especially if you get it rare and get it like number, these were 48 I made. I have a Minnesota pal of mine who does this stuff. Something to keep in mind. There's no way you can get it done by now, but in the future, oh my God, I would love to connect you with those because people will eat that up. Like mugs are huge, especially like mug collecting communities. It's a weird, crazy world I didn't know existed.
I want to do mugs, but the problem is like, I don't want to have to, I don't know. The shipping is, I feel like going to be hard unless they come like prepackaged.
It's a pain in the butt when you got to like ship them each one, but the profit margins and people love them. So I don't know. My hands
I'll keep
hurt.
that in mind.
Yes. Real quick, rapid fire, and I'll let you go. Serious question. If you were on death row,
oh my God,
what would your last slice of pizza be?
Casey's Canadian bacon.
I am like, if anybody listens to this show, you just solidify. I am the Casey's guy. I plug Casey's. Casey's needs to sponsor this podcast because I talk about Casey's pizza all the time.
I love Casey's pizza.
I am not crazy now. I'm like, dude, I love gas station pizza. And people are like, you are weird. You just.
No, it's not even a gas station. It is like a fancy dine-in.
General store.
Yes, it is not a gas. Everyone thinks a gas. Oh, it's like a freaking 7-Eleven. No. You know how clean they keep Casey's?
That food is so good. Okay. Yeah. Mine's a pepperoni from Casey's. Thank you. You made me just sound like legit now. Co-signed by Maddie Poppy. All right. If you were reincarnated, what would your new career path be outside of music, singing, performing?
Oh, I was going to say a music teacher. Outside of.
Let's just say music's off the plate. That doesn't exist.
Okay. Well, that sucks.
Sad world.
I would probably be like, I don't know. I'd want to have my own business. Like I would want to sell like interior design stuff or like have a little shop. Like, I don't know.
What do you do to escape music in order to just like recharge, get your mind right and just have some fun? Work is play, but sometimes you got to step away, which is hard for me. So what's like your outlets?
My outlets are like,
gravel travel.
I don't know, like going. Sorry, this is rapid, isn't it? Going on a bike ride, as my mom would say. That was fun.
Really rapid turns into tangents, and I just go off in a million different directions that make no sense. So, So bike rides, is that it?
Yes, probably, or like, I don't know, doing anything with like my mom or my dad.
Okay.
My parents are my best friends.
That's awesome. Are you you have a sister? You have siblings?
I have an older sister and a younger sister, and my older sister's getting married this weekend.
Okay. Congratulations. We're in the future now, but congratulations to her.
Oh, in the past. We are. I'm sorry. She got married.
This is November that this episode
long time ago.
Oh, like a month ago. So congratulations to her. Actually, no, just a couple weeks ago. So congratulations to her. If you were stranded on an island, what are 3 things you have to refrain from dying from boredom? I feel like one's a no-brainer.
I know you're probably thinking I'm gonna say guitar. I don't think I would bring it though.
That's not what I was gonna say at all.
What were you gonna? Oh, were you being sarcastic?
Yeah, that's sarcasm.
Let's see. I would bring my phone. I would bring. Trying to look around. What else do I do?
You can't bring your parents either. Those aren't the other 2 things you could bring.
Oh my gosh, I'd probably just die from boredom then. I'd probably just
you need a solar charger clearly for your phone.
I'd get on Instagram and then I'd just be done after 30 minutes and say, fine, I'm over it.
It sounds like a phone, some kind of solar charger for your phone. And then you'd have to have some kind of like satellite hotspot Wi-Fi. So those may be your 3 things.
Oh my gosh, how lame am I? Can I bring like a snack bag?
It's your world. Just aside from your parents.
And I'd bring a humongous snack bag and I'd say, I don't need a beach body because I'm on a beach, but no one can see me.
What's your go-to snack of choice? There's another rapid one. Now I got to know. We're aligned.
So I'm on Weight Watchers right now, which I hate, but like if I wasn't on Weight Watchers, a meal or a snack, because sometimes a meal is a snack.
Oh, a meal for me could be a whole bag of Doritos, depending on the mindset I'm in. So,
dude, for my snack, I would say pasta of any kind. Like I would just crush like chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
But it's got to be good because there's some real bad Alfredo out there.
Oh, yes. That cheap stuff in a jar. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Got to go to like a nice restaurant, like Brown Bottle or something around here. So,
yes.
last one. Where can people go to follow you online, support you, and buy all your stuff, get your album, tour dates, all that? Selfless plug.
I announce everything on my Instagram, which is just Maddie Poppe. Poppe is Poppe. And it's also on my website, maddiepoppe.com, and my Facebook page, which is just Maddie Poppe. Or you can Google me, and I'm sure it will pop up there also.
I'll have it linked up in the show notes. Avoid having to type in any keyboard stuff. I got you. Okay, so website is where tour dates as well as merch and everything could be. I'll give them like specific links too from your website.
Yes, thank you.
This was awesome. It's wild how this all happened. I'm really, really glad you hit me up. I'm glad you had the time to do this. And I really hope all your stuff sells. I hope to come and kick it on December 11th or whenever you're in Cedar Falls.
Yeah.
And just know I'm really, really grateful for your time. And I'm stoked to see this new chapter and the moves you're going to be making, because clearly there's no way you're not going to win. I'm already picking up that vibe and the mindset for you. And that's how it should be for creatives, you know?
Well, thank you so much. And you know what? Thank you for having me. I always enjoy doing this kind of stuff. And thank you for doing my whole design super last minute and killing it. And I'm so excited to put it on a shirt and actually have cool stuff to sell. It's not lame.
Well, if this takes off, maybe we can work again on something soon and like try to outdo it, hit a home run every time. So have a great day. Congrats again to your sister. Congrats on your launch coming up, and looking forward to big things for you to end 2020 and 2021.
Thank you so much. Well, it's good talking to you, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Peace. Thanks again for listening. It'd be awesome if you took the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let the comment below so we can connect. Again, if you want to catch a shout out as a future listener of the week, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes and give it a rating and review.